Well, good morning, everybody, for Thursday, the 20th of April. High pressure is still in charge, but beginning to slip away. By tomorrow, we're going to be under an area of potential frontal area, and low pressure not really too far away. And I'm afraid it does look yet again unsettled as we head towards the weekend. For today, though, an easterly flow and an increasingly northeasterly flow later in the day, with this occluded front starting to move in from the east to the west, bringing with it some outbreaks of rain and some drizzle towards the latter part of the day. But for now, nice and bright and fairly breezy. Those winds are looking generally in our area probably 070, 20 knots initially, increasing to at least probably 25 knots mid to late afternoon, and starting to sort of background to a northeasterly direction. That we'll come on to shortly. Satellite picture over the UK, though, is very promising, actually. We've got a reasonable amount of sunshine across the whole of the country. You just see some cloud from that front just moving into eastern fringes of Kent. With a bit of luck, we'll hopefully stay clear of that. But yeah, nice bright start, no fog today. And you can see here the public forecast, which indicates 14 degrees to be the top temperature today. Won't always feel like that, but it does show that that wind is going to increase and back, which does present a bit of a problem to us. One of our problems for today. Yeah, visibility though looking a lot better than it was yesterday. Temperature then on here on GFS is very similar to 12 to 13 degrees, probably a bit more reasonable, and dew points sort of floating in the afternoon just before it goes bad around 4 to 3 degrees. Odium currently reporting Cavoke, 10 knots from the northeast, and you'll see during the day that it's a mixture, but gusts start to pick up probably by lunchtime, and showers will start and areas of rain with that occluded front will start to move in. Okay, I've got two models for you today. So I've got Top Meteo and SkySight. If one of them wants to work, which would be great. Okay, so that's what SkySight's predicting for an 18-meter glider. Obviously, standard fringes of the coast looking a little bit dodgy, but good down into the West Country and up in towards Wales, away from windward coasts. Around 11 o'clock, it being sort of blue, looking like around here to 3,500 feet. After lunch, blue shallow Q, sort of 1, 2 o'clock to around 5 to 5,500 feet QNH, maybe even 6,000 feet QNH in some parts, and more cumulus later in the day. Generally quite good widely up into Wales and down into the West Country. Not so good east of Oxford or Husbos sort of area. Wales looking nice though, with mid-afternoon it looking like you've got 2,000 meter cloud bases in certain areas there, though if you're out that far at 3 o'clock in the afternoon it may be a struggle to get back. Sort of 5, 6 o'clock, that's when the rain will start to arrive at Lasham. Might remain soarable out to the west, but yeah, does look like by 6 o'clock it will be unsoarable here and probably raining in certain parts. Cloud amounts then starts off very blue, and we'll see how much moisture there is in the air. The ground is still very soft, but it really takes quite a while to get any sort of cumulus activity, and it's going to be a bit sporadic during the day. We'll see what SkySight thinks in a minute. Sight forecast then for today, and we're looking at 3-knot climbs up to 6,000 feet above sea level, 5.5 above sight, so well into the airspace, and blue to shallow Q, probably 1 to 2 AXQ at best looking at this, and 14 degrees being our top temperature today. We'll just have a look at the pictures outside at the moment, which is that. So I can see a couple of you getting ready, which is nice and blue. And currently a temperature of 8 degrees, a dew point of 2, and it certainly feels that way. Right, let's see if SkySight wishes to give us any information. Okay. And we can see there, we'll go for potential flight distance. This being a lot more pessimistic, really suggesting that either down with us or down to the West Country is best. We'll have a look why that is. It's just showing weaker thermal strengths. We're actually probably in the best area from the looks of it. With it triggering around 11:30, and yeah, only really getting sort of 3-knot climbs in our area, and elsewhere looking tricky thermals with the spotted dots, as you can see, at probably only around 1 to 2 knots. Heighted thermals, well, around us still, much like Top Meteor was suggesting, 5,000 feet above sea level, but it looks like 1,300 meters that it's picking up over Wales and into the West Country, with less in the way of cumulus out into Wales, but actually more in the way over here, with cumulus bases talking around 5,500 feet above Lasham during the day. Cloud cover, you can see starting to increase from the east as we go through towards 6. So those parts of the model are fairly consistent, but it does look like things are a little bit trickier and a little bit damper, and we'll just have a look at a couple of SKUs to see how that's going to progress through the day. So SKU for 2:30 shows a good chance of cumulus at Lasham. The temperature of 13 degrees, providing cloud base of around 5,500 feet to 6,000 feet above sea level. But if we look out to our west, let's just go for Yeovil. Blue, slightly lower, a bit more of an inversion there as well. But again, 13 degrees, obviously temperature not getting quite so high there, but we'll look at one more out in the middle of Wales, and again temperature 12 degrees, producing quite blue, but only to a reasonably low level compared to everywhere else. So yeah, some fairly substantial differences between the models. My expectation is the wind will probably be stronger than you think it's going to be, especially as I come onto our operational plan. So we'll just look finally at a well, I'll just have a look at wave to see if there's any. No, don't need to worry about that. Northeasterly sometimes do provide a bit of wave. Bridge lift, if the wind goes northerly enough, then maybe we might see the hill starting to work at Parham, but it really depends how much north in the wind we get actually. And convergence during the day, not really picking up too much in the way based on that wind direction we have. It's not a classic one for convergences at Lasham. So yeah, chucking lots of data at you today. Right, we'll just pick a spot. Let's go for Revar Hill with a site forecast then. That will give us just a nice generalistic look at how things are. And that's showing cloud base of around 1,300 meters, so around 4,000, 4,500 feet above sea level, with climbs of around 2.5 knots up to 3 knots or so, with varying amounts of Q and sunshine. So yeah, quite a big disparity between the two forecasts. So I would view that with caution. I think David sort of mentioned about the fact that warm air advection would make the thermals weaker as that front starts to come towards us, and that sea air from the wash, based on the wind direction, is likely to wipe out areas such as Husbos, Bicester and Edge Hill, as well as potentially even Aston Down. So that the model's not really picking that up particularly, but certainly everybody's in agreement the wind is going to pick up. So plan accordingly is all I'd say. Okay, airspace wise, parachuting at Brize Norton, supposedly. I said if anybody does spot the parachute plane at Brize Norton, very interested, because they note them a lot, but we don't see too much of them. 24 is a helicopter display at Abingdon. Again, if you spot that, let me know, because that's a lot of time to note a helicopter display between 10 and 6. Helicopter's got a lot of fuel, clearly. So that's Abingdon. 27 is an article drop at South Cerney between 15:30 local and 5 local. up to 2,900 feet within 3 nautical miles of South Cerney. So South Cerney treat as active, as are the Salisbury Plain danger areas. Salisbury Plain active 2021. Parachute display at Purnham Down. I don't actually know where that is. That must be within the notes, the danger areas. I'll just have a quick look at the map. But it does appear, just on the edge there, just north of Fruxton. There is a parachute display, and Eversley is active today as well, up to 4,000 feet all day. As you can see, with 21. And Salisbury Plain is active otherwise as per the AIP, so check if you're going in that area. Don't think you're going too far east, that's not too relevant. Other ones are just paragliding, NOTAMs, or high intensity radio transmission areas. Okay, so that's that headache out of the way. We're going to start on 09 with cables on the south, excuse me about drawing, and air towing off the north. Based on the current window, there's probably at least a 50% chance we have to change runways at some point. And we don't change runways like this very often, but if we start getting 15 knots from the north, that's going to become quite a bit of a pain. So let me just brief you. If we are operating on 05, and that's this way, and I don't anticipate this before lunch. If we're operating on 05, then gliders queuing up here. Right-hand circuits ends up on the right-hand side of 05. Left-hand circuits will continue onto 09. We can't really aerotow off 05 at the moment due to probably how soft the grass is and performance of tugs XYZ. So we'll still be aerotowing from here. It'll be a tricky split launch point. So my best advice to you is, if you're looking to fly today, come out before lunch. The conditions are going to probably be better around then. You don't want to be launching at 3 o'clock because it's only going to get a little bit trickier during the day. And talking of tricky, we have 3 movements plus Navajos as well. So we got a A320 going somewhere between 12 and 3. We have a 737 going at 12, and we have an A319 going at 3 o'clock. And Navajo going at 10, returning at 12, and a Navajo probably leaving sometime this afternoon. So yeah, we've got a number of movements throughout the day. So the earlier you launch, the better, pretty much, because it's a busy day for everybody on the airfield, and we're only just trying to make it work for all. And I want you guys to keep your gliders fairly close to the centre line if possible when queuing, only because it might mean I don't have to move you out of the way when the Navajo comes past wanting to take off. So yeah, we've all just got to mix in today. It's going to be a bit tricky with the wind, a bit tricky with the cross-country flying as well, but I know you'll make it work. All right, we'll see you out there shortly. The only other thing of note is that RF Benson have Typhoons based there today. So if you are operating around there, you might see some fast jet activity, and it might be they come to Odium too sometime. So yeah, keep your eyes out. Bye for now.